I'm Brian V, and this is Why We Work. Today, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Dylan Atack. He is an employee for the Cineplex, a local movie theater in his area. He volunteers for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is a CFL, Canadian Football League professional team in Canada. In January 2021, he and Frankie McDonald will be hosting and co-hosting the Dylan and Frankie Show. When I see Dylan, I see someone who works hard. He already has 3 jobs. So I'm going to ask him what keeps him going. What is his motivation? What is his drive? And where does he and how does he maintain his sense of positivity? Join me in my conversation today with Dylan Atack. I'm Brian V, and this is Why We Work. Today I have the great pleasure of speaking with Dylan Atack. Good evening, young man.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Dylan, thank you. I know it's your Sunday evening there. I think you were saying you were watching a movie. I truly appreciate you coming on and doing this for me. Would you be able to give us a brief introduction of you, and then I'll ask you a few questions, maybe bring you back a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Hamilton. I live here in Hamilton, Ontario, born and raised, and I love the city. Great city. I work with the Hamilton Tiger Cats of the Canadian Football League, and I've been doing that for 15 years now. And I help out. I do the equipment. I'm the equipment assistant for the Tiger Cats, and then I also help out with the Hamilton Bulldogs Ontario Hockey League team, which is the other pro sports team here in the city, and I follow the mascot around on game days. I'm his security guard, so I've been doing that for about 17 seasons now. So
17 years.
yeah,
Dylan, that's great. Yeah, keep going.
Mm-hmm. And then my spell, and then I also work at the movie theater called Cineplex. I've been there for 9 years now, and I have tickets and I clean the theaters there. And then in my spare time, I like to reach out to celebrities and I've met a lot of famous people like Prince Harry and the Queen of England.
A word that comes to my mind when I hear you say these things is dedication. So, so you have a dedication to work. You're talking 17 years in one position, 15 years, 9 years, and then now you're getting into online celebrity interviews and that sort of thing. Dylan, what was maybe one of these were, what was your very first job that you've ever received, getting out of the house and doing something, whether it's volunteer or for $1?
Well, my first job when I first started getting out of the house when I was about 13. I started riding my bike. Down to the stadium, down to Ticats, and after when Bob Young bought the team, he brought me in under his wing, and then a couple of years later, I got my first job at washing dishes at the End Zone Bar and Grill here in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then I moved on from there, and then I went to Cineplex, and that's where I've been ever since, and then helping out the Ticats and the Bulldogs.
So why did you get out of the house on your bike and going over to the Ticat Stadium or even washing dishes at the Bar and Grill? What got you out of the house?
Yeah, I wanted to get more active and wanted to discover things when I was growing up, right? And I'm glad I did. And it's got me into a lot of places.
So is this part of your own motivation, or is there family saying, "Hey, Dylan, why don't you go out and try this"? Where is it kind
motivation,
of
yeah.
Your own motivation, your own aspirations to do something different. So,
and I'll show you my room here. Actually, you'll be impressed here. Let me show you.
These are the pictures of the people that you met.
Yeah. Prince Harry.
You got a signed jersey from Sid. That's where I'm from, Nova Scotia, not far from Dartmouth there, Cole Harbour, where he's from, in Sackville. Signed
Hockey stick by
Hockey
him, yeah.
stick by Sid.
Me meeting Prince Harry. And then me with the Prime Minister of Canada.
Do you get
And then over,
nervous? Do you get
what's
nervous?
that?
Do you get nervous when you meet these people, Dylan?
No, never nervous. I've come to getting used to it.
Getting used to it? Is that the Queen?
That's the Queen, yeah. Me giving her flowers
Oh, that's nice.
down here.
Judge Judy.
I didn't meet Judge Judy. She just sent me an autograph. And then Hillary Duff.
Yeah.
And then over here, I got Betty White.
Betty White. Everyone loves Betty White.
And then Alex Trebek.
Oh, you got it. It's too bad that he passed this year.
Yeah, he was a big Cat fan, actually.
He's a Canadian.
Wayne Gretzky. And over here, Regis Philbin.
And Regis passed this year as well, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And yeah, that's my celebrity room.
You got it. You got a nice and neat celebrity room. That's a nifty celebrity room.
Yeah, and the toughest part, this year with the pandemic happening, right? I'm very sociable. I love getting out in the community, with the Ticats and Bulldogs and looking up at the show, and that's been really tough. But you know what? You know who's really touched my life? Frankie McDonald.
Well, it's funny you bring up Frankie because I wasn't really going to bring him up directly, but I had the opportunity of interviewing him. And then a day or two later, he wrote me and said, interview Dylan Atack. I'm like, what? But yeah, you and Frankie have hit it off, and you guys have yourself something coming up too. You guys, I mean, you guys are doing it now, so I don't know, the big debut will be in January, the Dylan and Frankie Show.
On Cable 14, yeah.
Cable 14, but you guys are rocking it out now, so I don't know what's
when I first met Frankie, my friend Wendy McDonald, she used to live out in Frankie's area. Mm-hmm. So she got connected with Frankie and I. So then Frankie sent me his book. So and he signed it for me. So so a couple of weeks later we started Zooming back in the summertime, and we said to ourselves, you know what? Let's make some use out of this, and let's have some fun with that, and let's try reaching out to celebrities and seeing if they want to Zoom with us, and see if they want to Zoom with the best weatherman in the entire world. So if
he's taking on the credit of being the best weatherman in the world, what is your niche? What is your
my niche is the celebrity hookup.
Well, it's better you didn't say celebrity gossip. That's good. The celebrity hookup. That's good. You got the celebrity hookup with the best weatherman in the world.
Yeah. So I do all the emailing, and then if whoever responds back and says, "Yeah, we want to Zoom with you, Dylan and Frankie," I say, "Frankie, we're Zooming with this person at this time." Frankie's ready to go when we Zoom. He always shows up his bobbleheads, and I'm the one that takes the screenshots.
Yeah, you need to get yourself you get all the same merchandise that Frankie has, because Frankie is a promoter, right?
Oh, yes.
He loves promoting. So why don't you have your own bobblehead? I mean, he has a bobblehead and an action figure. I mean, not even should. Tell Frankie to call his buddy down in Texas that he keeps saying that makes
Ben Campbell, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, tell Frankie. Frankie will get you all hooked up with that.
Yes.
And maybe your own book of, how to hook up with celebrities the right way.
Yes, that'd be cool.
Right? Like, because you guys are hooking up with a lot of people that even top television, interviewers have difficulty hooking up with. But you guys are getting in there a lot. So the work that you're doing now, specifically with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Bulldogs, and maybe even the Cineplex, that might be even closed nowadays. How are things with your work that you do with the pandemic?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. So, Yeah, so Cineplex, when the pandemic started, let's happen back in March when everything started closing down.
Yeah.
I got, we were laid off for a couple of months, and still laid. I'm still laid off. The theater reopened back in August,
Mm-hmm.
and um then we they brought back 15 staff only because it was very limited staff
Yep.
then. And then back a couple weeks ago, Hamilton went into the red zone, so they had to shut down the theaters again.
Okay. So
So
there's no
yeah,
Cineplex
so
at the moment. Yeah.
I'm hoping in the new year I'll be back there, like when things hopefully get back to normal. They say that 2021 hopefully will be a much better year, so let's cross our
Hopefully.
fingers for that.
Yep. And for the Tiger Cats, how does their schedule look for all that's going on?
Well, Tag Cats, we didn't have a season at all this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was talk about them doing a bubble but that they needed some federal government help to get all that rolling, but
Mm-hmm.
things fell apart there on that end, so they end up canceling the season. And now they're very hopeful, and I'm optimistic too that we'll be able to go in 2021. The schedule's already released. Great Cup's coming to Hamilton in 2021, so hopefully, once more, as they say, more vaccines come available,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we'll be ready to go.
What about the players themselves? Are they just required to exercise and stay fit on their own, or are the teams having
I
some
think
minor practices?
I'm so the like the local guys here, there's been like a couple going in and with like supervised workouts. Like there's about like 5 of them, I think,
Okay.
that go in and work out. But um the rest of the guys are just at home because most of them are from the States, so they
States,
can't
yep.
cross the borders here.
Yep.
So
What about the Bulldogs and their hockey season?
hockey season for Bulldogs. I know that they're hoping to start up in, there was talk about them hopefully starting up in February. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens. But it all depends on, with the pandemic situation at that point.
Frankie, I know your Frankie show, the Dylan and Frankie show is coming up. So it's good that you have that because the jobs that you're working are really affected by COVID.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like I say, it's been a blessing to getting to do that. As soon as when Frankie and I started zooming for celebrities, the local Frankie's local paper, the Chronicle Herald,
Mm-hmm.
and the Cape Breton Post picked up on a story, and they did a story on us, and then my local paper did a story on us, and then the local cable 14 station, they wanted to do a show out of it. So we've had Harmony is our director, producer, and so I always send her the emails and let her know who we have celebrity-wise that want to talk to us. And the first show airs in January the 7th.
Like I said, when I hear of what you're doing, it reminds me of the word dedication because you're putting decades into your work. And I'm sure with this new thing that you're doing, how long have you been on social media? I guess that would give you some idea of your experience with this.
Yeah, I've been on social media now for about over 10, 15 years now.
10,
Yeah.
15 years. So you're not totally new to it, but this with your
No.
own show, the Cable 14 show that's coming up, and you and
Yeah.
Frankie are on almost every day, Zooming one another and other
Yeah.
people. What is
Yeah.
difficult about this whole, maybe not the pandemic part of it, but just the social media aspect about what you're doing and what you and Frankie are creating?
So I think like the most hardest part, to say, I think, in normal times, like I'm used to going out, and being very social, and but being stuck in the house the last couple of months. It's kind of stunk, but you know what?
Mhm.
And it's been, if there's anything that's come out of 2020, something good wise, it's
Mhm.
been getting to know a lot more about Frankie, and Frankie's such a true inspirational to the autism community, and
Mhm.
he truly sets truly it truly means a lot to me as well.
You bring up autism. So can you give us an idea from your perspective as well, the challenges that someone faces with autism?
Well,
Because I don't think that you face any, and I don't think Frankie
no,
face
no,
any. That this is
I know,
like
I
this
know,
is the point.
yeah, I know that there's some kids and some adults with it that have like severe, like they can't talk, but hopefully it shows like other parents or others with autism, hey, these guys are inspirational. I want to be like Frankie and Dylan.
And I'm glad you used the word inspirational,
Hmm.
because and that's why I wanted to interview you.
Hmm.
That's when Frankie mentioned you, I wasn't aware. I knew Frankie for years in that I'm from Nova Scotia. And I always found it an inspiration that he was just going. And if, people have lots of excuses of why they
Hmm.
can't, I hurt myself or, maybe I lost my job. But what you're saying is with you or Frankie or other people in all of our communities, we can look to other people for inspiration. And I think that's what you're doing a wonderful job of.
Yeah, thank you. And Frank and I, even after when this pandemic ends, like I know that I'll be going back to Thai cats and going back to the theater and looking forward to doing all that stuff. But Frank and I won't stop zooming with the celebrities. We'll still keep on going. I know that we're trying. I'm trying really. I'm trying really hard on my side of things to get the Prime Minister on to talk to Frankie and I. I know
Hmm.
there's a couple of Frankie's local MPs that have already said to the Prime Minister's office, "Hey, you got to talk to Dylan and Frankie and say hi to them." So,
Dylan, what is a satisfaction you get about maybe the interviews that you're doing? What is it? Maybe even this will inspire other people, because I know nowadays podcasts are booming. They were booming a little bit before COVID
yeah,
started, but people are getting to be encouraged to spread their own message, whatever it is they're doing, whether positivity or specifics to sports or something along those lines. What sort of satisfaction are you getting out of this experience on podcasting?
it's been getting to know the other side, the other side of the story, like the other side of when we're zooming with the actors and the actresses. I always ask them, the one of the first questions I ask them, who's been your most favorite movie star of all time to work with on set?
Hmm.
And they always say, wow, that's a really good question. And then they always say, for example, Julia Roberts, and then they get into a story about, what it was like working with Julia Roberts or so and so. So it's always good. It's always good to listen to the what what they're like, what that celebrity's like, and what their background's been like, and getting to work in awesome, wicked movies.
Think you said you're getting used to asking these celebrities and it's becoming a little bit easier. But is there a skill that you realized that you need to do this sort of thing that you needed to develop a little bit better and focus in on? Is there something that you realized, oh, I need to get a little bit better in this, and this would be a skill that I can have?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Well, after when we first zoomed with our first with our first celebrity, I said to myself, wow, you know what? I can really build momentum off this,
Hmm.
and and I just kept sending emails out to like movie agencies. I mean, like the agents and media people. I mean, like the actors, media, like the PR assistants, like the assistants, and I say, hey, you got to meet Frankie and Dylan. You can't mess around missing us. Frankie will give you the best weather reports of our time, and you just can't. just can't miss out talking to us, you know. And then we got second email back, third email back, fourth email, and it just kept on, you know, momentum was gaining, and I was very inspired by that.
With reaching out to other people, was it for you, without the experience, just kind of hit or miss at different places and different heights of people? Like, so if you're talking the celebrity is the height, but then you have their manager, PR person, public relations people, is it just you're randomly at first pointing to these people and then you're getting a better idea who you should target? How are you going through that process?
Exactly, like one of our favorites that I think we zoomed with was her name was Megan Kavanaugh. She played Marla Hooch in The League of Their Own, one of the best baseball movies of all time. There's no crying in baseball, like Tom Hanks says.
There's no crying in baseball.
So we zoomed with Marla Hooch. Megan Kavanaugh played Marla Hooch, and she even had her own bobblehead too. So Frankie was showing up his bobblehead. She was showing up hers. So yeah. So I mean, like, you never know who's going to respond to me or to us. Like, you know, it always gets me excited. Each time when I look in my inbox and it says, and I see like an email from like a celebrity that says, "Yeah, we want to Zoom with you." Oh, hey, and I go back because I always can't remember sometimes who I sent out emails to, like, because it might be like a month from now who I've emailed, and then they get back to me a month later, and it's been great.
I'm interested too, because this will show the dedication and your hard work. How many people are you emailing on average a day, or what does the process look like for you? Are you reaching out to a lot of people every day?
I email. Yeah, I email. I do. I've slowed down a little bit now because I know with the Christmas holidays coming up, but I've been sending out like over like 20 emails a day, and I send them the article about Frankie and I at the very end of it, and I say, here's more about Frankie and I below. And then I say, you know, it would really mean a lot to the autism community if you could take the time out of your free time to Zoom with us, and that's how we go about. That's how I go about emailing them, and then I've been very successful at getting email responses back.
It's great. It's a great principle. If you want something and it's the way you need to get it is to reach out to people, you're emailing 20 people a day, and probably more at the height of it, right? And not bashful and not shy to do it, because this is what you want. Dylan, is there something that you would like people to understand about you or the work that you're doing so that they can have a better appreciation for what it is that you're doing?
Maybe encouraging others to not give up on your dream goals. And
that's what you're trying to do, is to encourage people. Yes.
And be more positive, be kindness to others, never have a bad day, always be happy every single day.
Well, Dylan,
and inspire others to do the same.
How do you do that? How do you stay productive? How do you stay positive? What is your motivating factor?
Well, I've lost over 56 pounds since COVID started. So
do you know what, Dylan? I didn't want to bring that up, but I saw some videos of you at the Thai Cats. I'm like, that's not the same guy I've been seeing for the last several months. Like you're dropping pounds like bags. What's your a lot of people would like to know that trick. How did that happen?
Yeah, because I know a lot of people say, well, I've gained pounds over since COVID. I've been biking lots.
Nice.
I've been doing cardio in my basement, and I go for a lot of walks at nighttime.
Yeah.
And then I eat lots of broccoli. I eat raspberries, and I eat blueberries. I eat yogurt, and like the stuff I was eating before, like I was eating pizza and Subway and all that, and I'm like, nah, I'm cutting this out. So,
Pizza and Subway is still good though, Dylan. Come on.
oh yeah, I haven't had it for a long time, so I don't miss it too much.
So
And
that
then,
helps you stay productive
yeah,
and
and very
motivating you
much,
to
and like
losing
in
weight.
during the summertime, like, well, I still ride my bike now. Knock on wood. It's been still good weather-wise
No
for
snow?
biking, but I know I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
close down biking for the winter at some point. But I bike ride like 3 times a day down to the stadium and back, so
That, that
just to get my
that will do it.
mind off things, and
Does it get a
and
little stressful for you at times? Maybe even, I mean, you're getting used to it, but managing, scheduling, you guys have a show, a lot of this is kind of picked up, just a few months ago, you were out of work basically, and now
yeah,
you have your own TV show.
yeah, I think the most the most stressful part about it, I would say, is probably being being cooped up in the house,
Mhm.
being cooped
Yeah.
up, I mean, like, in this new normal type life right
Mhm.
now, not, and not doing like the stuff that, I did a couple months ago, working at the Tie Cats or
Yeah.
Bulldogs or working at the Cineplex right now. Like, I would have been in my busy season right now. Christmas is a busy time up at the theater, and it's crazy that we never close on Christmas at the movie theater. So I mean, like, it's for that part, I'd say it's pretty. That's the most toughest part, I think. That's been a little bit stressful, and but I've really enjoyed it by taking my mind off things and going for bike rides and exercising and losing all these pounds and getting to know Frankie, and boom, having our own show too.
People can relate to that, the stress involved with being cooped up, and that's one of the major problems I think with COVID. Just on a side note, Dylan, I was a manager for a basketball team, and I wish I was a better basketball player, but I just
Mhm.
wasn't. And so I like the point guard position. Is there, from the Bulldogs hockey, I even did some score clock for hockey, and I was never a good hockey player. Is there a
Mhm.
position that you would like to play in hockey, or in the end, well, the CFL as well, of a position that you really like, that you would
Yeah.
like to get
I'd
on the
I'd love
field there
to.
one time?
I mean, like, I'm not a really good skater, but I'd
Me
like
neither.
to. If I ever played hockey, I'd like to maybe be a goalie and make the saves.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Just to make the saves, not to let them go by. But
Yeah,
what about
and
in
then
football?
being a linebacker and maybe sacking the quarterback.
You would like to smack somebody, eh?
Yeah.
Those linebackers are tough. They
Oh yeah.
There's no mercy. Dylan, what is a tool that you use, maybe now with Zoom on your TV show coming up, or maybe with the CFL or with the Bulldogs, a tool that helps you stay efficient? Maybe it's even your bike, something that helps you do your work really well.
Well, the best tool is getting more used to doing Zoom. Like, at first, like, I didn't know what Zoom was, and and I didn't even until like I zoomed a couple of months ago with Frankie, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is neat. And then any future, I can still talk to friends on here, and then I asked my cousin, how do I take pictures, on my iPad, um, and she showed me how I do that, and I take screenshots, and then I post them to my social media,
So you're
and I
you're
began a
getting,
lot of better at that.
it's a task for anyone, and nowadays it
Yeah.
seems like we really need to know how to use these things. And then you see like little kids much younger than us that are do do
Mhm.
do do do, it's like second nature to them.
Yeah.
What is it, if you think, going back, Dylan, of having a job as a dishwasher, getting into work the very first time, you may have been nervous, or,
Mhm.
for whatever reasons, you decided to get another position, the tie cap position, the Cineplex position, or what, the Bulldogs, changing your job. Even now, you're changing a career in this this new thing for January, the Dylan and Frankie Show.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for people getting into work? Maybe a little scared, a little hesitant, but starting work for the very first time.
Yeah, I'd say, you know what? Don't, you can have a little, you can be a little bit nervous, but you know what? Don't be shy. Go in there, be yourself, and make friends, and say, go introduce yourself. Go introduce yourself. I remember the one time there were at Cineplex, one of my friends, Paul, got hired at the movie theater with me. After me, I got introduced to him on his first train shift when I was working, and I was busy sweeping, and one of the cast members brought Paul over to introduce me to him, and Paul went out to shake my hand, and I said, "We don't shake hands around here. We hug it out."
That's awesome. But that's right. Being friendly to people and not being, even if you're a little bit shy, don't be too shy to go get a job and to reach out and
Yeah,
to connect with people.
yeah.
Dylan, how do you, with being so busy, right? I think you make yourself rather busy too because you're always looking for more people to reach out to. How do you separate your work from the things that you may do that are also equally good for you, like taking a break? When do you turn off the social media and the work part of it? And how have you disciplined yourself to make the switch and just to relax and to put some things down?
Um,
Or
I,
is it
I
even
I'd
difficult?
say I'd say probably right probably right now it's probably one of the best breaks that actually my parents have ever had. My parents are amazing, by the way. They always drive me around everywhere, and you know I don't drive, but I think for the most part, like um when looking at the theater or going down to Thai Cats and Bulldogs, and going to meet celebrities, or going to hockey, going down to hockey games with my dad. You know, they're my
Hmm.
chauffeurs. So
Hmm.
so uh, so I gave him a good break during this pandemic for sure.
Yeah,
Because
giving.
when I mean, like, when things do go back to, I mean, like, beforehand, like, every single week I'd say, okay, I got to go to work. Oh, I'm meeting this celebrity or so and so. Hey,
They, yeah. You said you have the great parents, so it's
yeah,
good that they are because you probably are very busy. I mean, you do have
oh yeah,
three when there's no COVID, you have three jobs and now you have a TV show. And if you're going
yeah,
out with the family and you have to be back for a Zoom call, you're like, okay, I got to be back. I
yeah,
have a time schedule, and I'm sure you're pretty
yeah,
diligent to be on time and all of that at most periods. So it's good to hear also how you take a break is you enjoy a football game, you enjoy a hockey game, you enjoy watching a movie, and those are the things that you do to separate your work time from your
yeah.
other choices that you make in your life. Dylan, is there anything that maybe when you were younger you would have known, or a mistake that you made that you've learned from, that you would like to tell others about, that can help us not make the same mistake or know something that would have been helpful for us?
No, that's a really good question. I can't, I can't think of anything. No, no.
No, there's everything seems to be going well. And I think
Yeah,
it goes along with your positivity, right? Even if something
yeah.
does go wrong, make adjustments and keep moving on. I think that's kind of the theme of what it is that you do. Dylan,
Yep.
can you speak of people's character? I think you're probably a pretty good judge of people's character, and
Hmm.
you're working in fields that are like professional football, professional hockey. You're seeing people in the Cineplex, you're meeting celebrities, and
Hmm.
you're probably a pretty good judge of character. How do you place character in a person's life, and how important it is to have your character right?
Well, I I I I I get them and I get them engaged into the positive aspect, and to keep their momentum going, and going stronger each and every single day.
Do you find that people think that you're too positive? Like, oh, Dylan, come on. I could just be upset sometimes, can't I? And you're like, no, no, everything's
No,
going to be
no,
okay.
no, no, no.
You don't fall for it, eh? You don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait. No.
Dylan, do you have any goal? So for your TV show, maybe in particular, is there a particular goal that maybe you and Frankie have?
Yes, yes, there
What would
is
you like to
one.
see, what would you like to see happen?
Frankie and I really, 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 really want to try to get Barack Obama on sometime.
Okay.
Yes,
That's a great goal. That's a great goal. And I think
yes.
I think you guys are on the right path of and meeting people in politics, and
Hmm.
one connection will lead to another, and
Hmm.
and in no time you probably will do that. It wouldn't surprise me in the year to come when you guys start your show that Barack Obama is on your show.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any sort of and I don't think you did. Is there any sort of adversity, some hard thing that you have faced that was really hard, but you made it out to the other end and you said it was worth the struggle, it was worth the hardship?
That's actually a good question. Back in high school, I was bullied a lot, and so that was probably one of my hardest things I had to overcome. You know, look what's come of it, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since. And even Frankie has even said, he's mentioned he's gotten bullied too, and he does not listen to the bullies. He listens to positive people.
Yeah. And I think it's a great positive message. And there's going to always
Hmm.
be bullies, but it
Hmm.
depends on where we put our own focus, if we focus on them or if we look forward and keep striving. Dylan,
Hmm.
is there any word of encouragement? And you kind of sprinkled or peppered it through this whole interview, but there's people out there that you want to think of 2020 or even before, because life has difficulties regardless if there's a pandemic going on. People lose
Hmm.
family members, people get sick, some people have terminal illnesses, some
Hmm.
people are bullied, some people go through, the list is endless of the difficulties. And
Yeah.
in terms of my listeners, of people who I would like them to get up and to keep going and to keep on working, because work is good. And as you mentioned, sometimes you go to work, you make a friend, you give a hug, things turn around. Do you have any encouragement for those people who might be feeling a little bit down in their work?
Yeah. Don't never have a bad day. You know, think about think about each day. Each day, and take it in pride, and take it one step at a time. You know, if it makes someone's day if you say hello, how you doing today? Something like that. And or say, hey, you know what, you look great today, or you're doing a great job. And giving good compliments, and the you know and encouraging others to do the same.
I think, Dylan, only people in the Maritimes would get this, but I think you're a Maritimer at heart. You might even be
Thank
from
you.
Cape Breton, or you need to go to Cape Breton because you'll find a lot of people like that. Very positive, right? And telling you, hey, you look good today, and that's the kind of the maritime spirit.
I'll tell you, actually, um, the first time when I met Sidney Crosby twice.
Hmm.
The first time, and I'll tell you, like I mentioned, as well, how my mom and dad are the best drivers of our time. So the first time when I met Crosby, my dad and I drove down all the way down to Buffalo, New York. I didn't even know if I was going to meet Crosby or not.
Yeah.
So we stood at the back of the arena, and this was like, we're standing out in 1 degree weather, and this was back in March of last year, and
Hmm.
Crosby had heard from one of the coaches that I was outside waiting for him at the back of the arena. So the bus is packed. The bus was parked in the back parking lot, fenced in, so I can't even get to the back of the bus, even if I tried, unless I want to get tackled by security, right? So Crosby, could have gotten on the bus, but he walked straight over to me and said, "Hey, great to meet you. What's your name?" And he was very, very nice.
That's the Maritimer.
Yes,
It's the
absolutely.
Maritimer.
And then this year, just right before the pandemic hit, I wrote a letter to the Pittsburgh Media Penguins department, and I said, "Hey, I met Crosby last year. I gave him a Tiger Cat hat. This year, I really want to give him a Tiger Cat football helmet." So I got an email back probably about a month later, and they said, "Hey, Dylan, Crosby's out of the lineup right now. He's injured, but when he comes back, we can revisit and see if we can make it happen." So it was back this March, March the 5th, I believe, or March the 3rd, and my dad and I went down to the morning skate, and I gave Crosby the Tiger Cat helmet, and then he gave me just a hockey stick, and then like three games later, boom, everything shut down.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. That's great that you had those experiences, and I really hope that you keep having them. And there's no, I think you will have those experiences because you bring inspiration, you bring light to other people's lives, whether you realize.
Hey, you know who else I met today?
Who's that?
I met the famous Brian.
Oh yeah, it wasn't me, obviously, but who's
It
the
was
famous
you.
Brian? Oh, thank you very much, Dylan.
The famous BrianVee.
Thank you, and that does bring
and is the best podcast ever.
Dylan, thank you. Where can people find you? How can you? I mean, this is what a Frankie does, right? You'll soon listen, in a month, you should have a bobblehead. You should say, you can find my bobblehead here. Here's my action figure, and here's my book. There's no reason why you shouldn't get this going, Dylan. Come on now.
Absolutely. They can find me at my Instagram account at Maple Leafs 7 or Tiger Cats Fan 7 on Twitter.
Okay. No one harps on you for being a Maple Leafs fan, do they?
No.
No, that they're all kind about that.
Oh yes.
Is there any other way? What about do you give out your email as well for people who you never know who might see it and have a connection for you? That's up to you.
Yeah, my email is bulldogs_volunteer@yahoo.com.
Very good. Dylan, I have one more question for you.
Yes.
Why do you work?
Why do I work? To keep myself going every single day.
That's great. Dylan Atack, the new co-host of the Dylan and Frankie Show, coming out January. Is there a specific day for that?
January 7th at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Will you guys be hosting that or putting that up on social media as well, or can it only be found on Cable 14?
Yeah, I will. It's on Cable 14's website, so I think it's www.cable14.com, I believe.
Perfect. Dylan Atack, thank you. You are a dedicated young man and an inspiration to all of us into why we work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.